Hello guys, welcome back. In the last lecture, we looked at very basically about the stimulus controllers and how stimulus work in a Rails application. Now, in this lecture, we will work on editing user description. For example, right now, if you click on any view user profile, you will see that there is a description that we are showing in the text format. Okay. Now, in this lecture, we will add a link here. Okay. And when we open the link, we will display users a form to edit the description or their about attribute. Okay, but what's special here? So the most important thing is that we will do this feature using turbo stream and bootstrap model. Okay, so first of all, we need to generate a new stimulus controller with the name bs model or bootstrap model. Okay, because in this stimulus controller we will implement code to open and close the bootstrap model with a turbo stream request. Okay, so switch to the terminal and there you need to run the rails generate stimulus command. So switch to the terminal and open the new tab, and here what you need to do, rails g stimulus, and here you need to provide your controller name. So I'm providing bs model, or if you wish you can provide bootstrap model as full form as well. So for now bs model. Okay, and this will create a new controller with bs model controller name within the app javascript controllers directory. Okay, now open this file and we will do something in this controller. Okay, so switch to the project directory again, and sorry, in the project directory you need to open this bs model controller js from the app javascript controller. Okay, first we need to do something in the connect method. Okay, so what we will do here, we need to write the code to open the bootstrap model. This will open a bootstrap model in your application as soon as it's find a dom element having the data controller attribute with bs model it as its value. Okay, so write in the connect method. So what we can do, this dot model equal to new bootstrap model dot model. Okay, and then you need to provide here this dot element. Your element is the dom element where you implemented where you added this data controller attribute. Okay, so data controller bs model, so it will capture that element here. Okay, and then add a comma here, and now we need to provide some options here. So we can provide keyboard false and add false here. Okay, and now what you need to do after this line, this dot model dot show. Okay, so what this line will do, let me explain that this dot model equal to new bootstrap model will initialize a bootstrap model instance, and then this will open the bootstrap model in the dom element. Okay, now we need to implement a disconnect method here. Okay, this will be invoked when you want to hide the bootstrap model from dom. Okay, so what we need to do here, we just need to implement disconnect function here. So disconnect, and then here you just need to do simply this dot model dot hide. Okay, and now we need to add an additional method here, and that will work as same as disconnect method, but this will work for the forms within the bootstrap model in such a way that when you submit a form within the bootstrap model, it will hide that, I mean it will close the bootstrap model and it hide from the dom. Okay, and since we will display the form to edit the user's description into the bootstrap model, so we need to add this method here. So we can name this method as submit and. Okay, and we will use this method as data action attribute on the submit button. Okay, so for now just add submit and then event, and here what you need to do, simply this dot model dot hide. Okay, so you just need to use this command and paste this line here. Okay, and this is the implementation of our bs model controller. Okay, now the most important stuff is to define the bootstrap in application.js as window.bootstrap. Okay, so open this application.js from app javascript, and here you need to explicitly mention your bootstrap. So what we can do here, window.bootstrap equal to bootstrap. Okay, and make sure to do this step, else you will not be able to see the bootstrap model on the dom. Instead you will see an error that initialized module bootstrap dot model that we did here you can see that in the bs model. Okay, so you will get error for this line. Okay, if you do not define the window dot bootstrap into the application.js. Okay, so just define like this and save the application.js. Okay, and that's it for setting up the bootstrap model for our application. But we are not done yet, because more important stuff is pending still. Okay, so this is just the initial step. Now open the application.layout, and there we need to define a turbo frame tag for opening the bootstrap model. Okay, but why layout file? Because we need this turbo frame in layout, because we will define it once and then reuse it for all the actions where we need to open the bootstrap model. Okay, and this can be opening a form in bootstrap model, or it can be displaying any dynamic or static read only content. Okay, so open the layout file, and after the yield statement in the layout, so go to the app views and layouts, and here you can see that after the yield statement, what you need to do, you need to define turbo frame tag. So just do it in the rails tag. So turbo frame tag, and then provide a name to your turbo frame tag. Okay, so we can provide, let's say, remote model, or you can add remote bs model or bootstrap model, anything that you want. Okay, now save the layout file. But what this line will do, I mean what this turbo frame tag remote model will do, okay, so this will create a new element on dom with name turbo hyphen frame. Okay, or it will create a custom element and the name that element as turbo frame, and assigns it an id that is remote model. Okay, for example, if you want to see, so save the layout file and come to the browser. Okay, when you refresh the page and just inspect on the browser where your application is running, and now come to the body part, and then you can see it after it within the row class. Here you can see we are seeing a turbo frame tag element, and the id is remote model. Okay, now since we want to update this description using a form, so basically we what we need as the basic thing, so we need a controller action and route for it. Okay, so let's define a new route for members controller, and that will serve form for editing the user description or this about attribute. Okay, so first open the members controller, so switch to the project directory and open the members controller, and we need to define an action there with name edit description. Okay, so open members controller. Okay, and into this members controller, what we need to do, def edit description. Okay, and just like this show action, we need to define a user object here, so we can right now do this. Okay, and later we will refactor when we look at the before action filters. Okay, so right now you can just use this command, that is find query for a user that for which we want to update the description. So just do this and save the file. Okay, and now what we need to do, just add a route for this edit description method into the members for into the routes file. Okay, so open the routes.rb, and there we will define the route for it. So open the routes.rb. Okay, here you can see after get, what you need to do, just since this is a get request, so we need to define, let's say, edit description slash colon id. Okay, and then now we need to use our to and as option, so we can use to, and it should be members hash and then edit description. Okay, and then use the as option here, and make sure you are not using the member as option here. Okay, you need to provide a different name. You will get a name collision within the routes. Okay, why? Because you will get an invalid route because you already defined member as option into some other route. Okay, so what we can do here, let's say edit member description. Okay, so just do it like this and save the file. Now open the show.html.trb from app views members. So here you can see that in the app views members we have a file that is show.html.trb. Okay, so open this show.html.trb, and here we will add a link to update the user description. Okay, so what we need to do here, we just need to do simply link to tag. Okay, and in this link to tag we can do edit member description. Okay, and then we need to pass this user object. Okay, so at the rate user. Okay, and now add do and this. And now inside this link we need to add a icon, let's say pencil icon, to show that this link is for editing the user description or editing this field. Okay, however, if you wish, you can simply write edit, but I would just like to show you that how we can use icons in the Rails link tag. Okay, so we need to do something like this. Here you can see link to, then do not provide the link text here, you just need to write the URL here, okay, or the path where you want to send this link. Okay, and then in the do block you need to mention your icons. Okay, or you can place some images as well. So now I class, and then bi pencil fill. Okay, and close this I tag. Okay, now what is this bi pencil fill? So this is the bootstrap icon. Okay, and whenever you install a bootstrap using CSS bundling in your Rails 7 application, you will automatically get all the bootstrap icons in your Rails application. Okay, so now save this and come to the browser and refresh the page, and now you will see a, okay, sorry, there is some error. So edit member description path, I forget to add path here, so let's add the path. Okay, and now come to the browser and save the page, sorry, refresh the page. Here you will see a new link, that is edit description, and you can see that this is redirecting you, this is showing edit underscore description slash users id as the description. But now if you click on this link, you will see that there is a members controller missing, edit description is missing a template for request format text html. Okay, why? Because right now we did not added any format to this, so by default it will be received as the HTML request, and it will look for the edit description.html.trb template into the app views members. Okay, and you can see the same error on the server as well. Okay, so we will not create a HTML ERB template for it. Okay, instead we will do something using turbo stream. Okay, so just close this browser console tag. Okay, and refresh it again. Okay, so this is how we can display a Rails bootstrap icon in a Rails link. Okay, now just come to the project directory again. So our link part has been done, but now we need to create another stimulus controller for sending our request in turbo stream format to edit description method of the members controller, or edit description action of the members controller. Okay, so switch to the terminal, and there you need to run a new command, a new stimulus generator command. So rails g stimulus, and here you need to change your controller name. So we can provide, let's say, edit user description, edit user description. Okay, run this command and it will create a new controller inside the edit user description in the app views JavaScript. And just to open this file, so this is our controller that we generated. And here what we need to do now, we need to add a data controller attribute into our link to tag. Okay, so just copy this. Okay, and come to the show.html.trb where you added the link, and now you can paste it here. Okay, but since it is the Rails format, so we need to do it something like this: data controller. Okay, and now place this as, mark this as hash, a key value pair. Okay, so now this will work. Okay, and when you refresh your page now and inspect your link, you will see a data controller attribute added to your link. Okay, so here you can see, inspect this, and now you can see that there is a data controller attribute, that is edit user description. Now our link is ready to send the request as turbo stream format, but still we need to implement some stuff to accomplish this in our stimulus controller. Okay, so open the edit user description controller, I mean the newly generated stimulus controller that we generated right now. Okay, and in this connect method you can simply write some console.log output if you wish. If you don't want to write, you can skip. Okay, so since we added that method in the username controller, so I'm just copying it from here. Now you can close and just paste it here. Okay, now here we will implement an initialize method for our edit user description controller. Okay, so whenever you marked a DOM element with data controller edit user description, stimulus add some actions to our DOM element. Okay, here we will add data action attribute to our link. Okay, so just write initialize function here, and you can use this initialize function to perform any activity that you want to perform whenever your stimulus controller get connected with the DOM element. Okay, so what we can do here, this dot element. Okay, dot set attribute. Okay, and then in this set attribute, what we need to do, we need to provide the attribute name, that is data action. Okay, and then value of this attribute, so it should be like click. Since we will perform a click action on this event, on this link, so we can add click and then your controller name, that is edit user description. Okay, and then you need to provide your method name. Okay, so you can do show modal. Okay, because we will sorry, you can just skip that. Why show model? Because we will implement a method that will show bootstrap model whenever user click on that pencil icon. Okay, so now we need to implement the show model method. Okay, so just copy this show model and come after the initialize, and here what you can do, show model, and provide an event attribute here, or you can simply provide e. Okay, and first of all we need to use event dot prevent default. Okay, because we want to prevent the default behavior of the link. Okay, so event dot prevent default. Okay, and now you need to capture the url of this link. So how we can get this? So this dot url equal to this dot element dot get attribute hyphen href. Okay, so this dot element dot get attribute. Okay, and then href. Okay, you can skip semicolon if you wish. Okay, now we need to use the fetch API to get this URL. You can read about the fetch API on the Mozilla document or any JavaScript tutorial. You can find this fetch API. So now this dot URL. Okay, and then we need to make something in the body. So first we need to set the headers. Okay, and in the headers, define a key value pair. First we will add accept. Okay, and here we need to set the format of our request. So text, and then vnd dot turbostream dot html. Okay, and this is to send the request as turbostream format, and this will look for turbostream.erb template rather than html.erb, because basically what happens that whenever you do not mention request type with your link, okay, so it will go to the server and look for the .html.erb template or any html template. Okay, because the request is sent as html. Now we are sending the request as turbostream, so we need to look for turbostream formatted template. Okay, so we, that's why we added text hyphen vnd dot turbostream dot html. Okay, and now after this what you need to do, you need to use then, and now capture the response. So response equal to response dot text. Okay, and then here we need to render the we need to stream the rendered message, that is html, and here what you need to do, turbo dot render stream, and then pass your html here. Sorry. Okay, save this. And then now it's the time to create a form for editing the user's description. Okay, so first create a new partial inside the app views members directory as underscore hyphen a underscore description model dot html dot erb. Okay, so come to the members controller, and here we need to create a new partial and name this partial is, and make sure you start this with underscore character. So description model dot html ERB. Okay. By the way, I would just like to tell you that we will render this template into a TurboStream template. Okay. And since this partial is in the HTML.erb, okay. So a lot of guys confused with that. Can we render a HTML partial inside a TurboStream.erb template? So yes, we can do that. Okay. So now, after creating this template partial, what we need to do, we first need to add the turbo frame tag here. Okay, just like we did in the application layout. Okay, so we can do turbo frame tag, and here we can do remote model. Okay, and then target at the top, then write your block here, do, and then end this block. Okay, and end a end of file line, and now come within the block. Okay, now within this turbo frame tech, what we need to do, we need to place a bootstrap model. So go to the getbootstrap.com, and from there copy a model's HTML snippet. So switch to the browser, and here what you need to do, first to open getbootstrap.com. And here you can go to the components, and into the components you can find model here. Okay, and you can copy any kind of model that you want to display. So I'm copying this model here. So let me copy this model snippet. Okay, don't copy the button. Okay, only copy this model snippet. Okay, you can skip the button. Why? Because we are now opening this model using the turbo frame tag or with the turbo stream, so we don't need this button like data bs toggle and data bs target attributes. Okay, we can simply copy this model snippet and paste it inside our turbo frame tag block. Okay, and since we created a bs model controller, that here you can see initially we created this bs controller model. So now we need to add this data controller attribute to our model tag. Okay, so come to the partial that we created right now, and here what we need to do, we need to add this data controller bs model attribute. Okay, because it will connect our model with the stimulus. Okay, and now inside the model we need to implement our form, and this form we will use for editing the user's description. However, in this lecture we will not submit this form. Our only purpose is to open the form in bootstrap model, so we will define this form with an empty url. Okay, so what we can do here, within the model body or before the model body, because we need to place the model body and model footer within the form body. So first create a form tag with rails, so form with. Okay, and here we can define model, that is at the rate user. Okay, and why at the rate user? Because we define this at the rate user object within the members controller. Okay, so it means we are creating this form for our user model. Okay, now implement finish the implementation of this form. And as I said, right now we need to uh, keep our url empty. Okay, so we can simply provide a hash, and we will not provide any method type here as well, because we will add the dynamic url to update this description and the method type in the next lecture. Okay, now add the form builder object. So do form and close this form. Okay, now place the model footer and model body within this form. And now within this model body, first add some row classes to display our form. So div class row. Into this row class we can add, let's say, call lg12. So div class call lg12. Okay, and now we need to add a form group here. So div class form group. Okay, you can find all these classes on the getbootstrap.com. Okay, so I am not explaining these bootstrap classes now. First, let's provide some custom and relevant label to the form field. Okay, so we can use a html label, or you can simply use like form tag form dot label as well. So use the rails format, form dot label. Okay, and here we can use, let's say, description. Okay, and we can simply use another class, that is uh, mb3. And now we need to implement our form dot text area. Okay, so form dot text area, sorry, text underscore area because this is the rails attribute. Okay, and here you need to provide your field name, that is about. Okay, and in the about you need to provide a value that will be the value of existing about values field. Okay, so we can provide value as at the rate user dot about. Okay, and then add a class here. class, let's say form control. Okay, and then you can provide rows, let's say 15 for by default. Okay, so our form will be displayed as the longer form. Okay, now we need to implement submit button in this model footer. Okay, so remove this close button, sorry, just keep this close button and remove this save changes button, because instead of this we will implement our submit form. Okay, a form dot submit button. So what we can do, just do a rails take stuff and form dot submit, and into this what we can do, save changes, or yeah, save changes is better, or you can do save description as well. Okay, and now we need to add a data action attribute here. And why is this data action attribute? Because here you can see that what we implemented in our BS model controller to hide the bootstrap model when users submit a form, we implemented submit and function. Okay, so now we need to call this submit and function as a data action attribute on this submit button. Okay, and since this is the data controller BS model, so within this controller it will find this action. Okay, so now what we need to do here, action, and then provide the action value. So our action value is like click, and your controller name, that is BS model. Okay, and then you need to provide your function name, that is submit and. Okay, save it. Now, as the last step, we need to render this partial into the action template of our edit description action. Okay, so first we need to create a template with name edit description, but not as html.erb. Okay, here we need to make it like edit description.turbostream.erb. Okay, and then in this template, we need to replace the turbo framed remote model and render our description model partial. Okay, so first create a new template in the members directory in the app views. So and save this file as edit description dot turbo stream turbo underscore stream dot erb. Okay, this is just like our html.erb template, but make sure to keep the extension as turbostream.erb. Okay, now save the file, and here what we need to do, we need to render our form model or this description model. Okay, so now here what we need to do, turbostream.replace turbostream.replace. Okay, and then your remote model id, that is remote model, sorry, not remote model id, this is the turbo frame tag id. Okay, and what this turbo stream dot replace means that whenever a request come onto this edit description action of the members controller, it will look for a turbo frame tag with id remote model. Okay, and then it will replace this with the partial that we are going to render here. Okay, so just end this and add an end of file, and now we need to render our description model here. Okay, so just add the rails tag, and here we can use render description model. Okay, now come to the browser and refresh the show page of the user. Okay, so just come to the project page, okay, or the user's detail page. Okay, and now refresh the browser. Okay, and whenever you click on this pencil icon, now you will see that a bootstrap model is open, and now it is showing the form for editing the users about attribute. Okay, and here we can see that already filled information here. Okay, but here you can see that we need to correct something, like we need to change this model header and this label, and we also need to change the style of the button. So let's do that. So come to the description model again, and first add a button class to this submit button. So class, here we can add btn primary and add comma here, and here what we can do, edit your description. Okay, and we here we can remove this rails tag, and we can use an html class label here, sorry, label element. Here add class mb3 Okay, and in this label, first what we can do, we can define some meaningful uh, title for this field. Okay, so we can do edit your description here. Let's add some more message like try, like it's not message, it's kind of hint, so try to keep it simple and to the mark or to the point, so the others can find valuable details of yours. Okay, save this, and we can do one more thing, that we can make this model dialog as model LG. Why model LG? Because right now if you see at this link, for example, let's say if user description is too long, then we need to scroll through that model pop-up. Okay, but with model LG we can allow users to expand their form field or their description, so it is very easy to read. Okay, and it is better in terms of UI as well. Okay, so to reflect our latest changes, let's refresh this page and now click on this link. Okay, when you click on this link, you can see that right now it is looking much better. Okay, so here you can see that we have a better placed model title here. This is the very good label to edit the user's description. Okay, and now we have button in submit button in the primary as well. Okay, but whenever you update this form, now this will not save or this will not update it into the database. Why? Because we did not implemented the update action. Okay, and here whenever you submit this form, you will see nothing in the browser. Okay, and you will not see any details or any logs in the terminal as well. Okay, so what we did in this lecture, so we just created a turbo frame tag and we rendered our Rails form into the bootstrap model using turbo stream and turbo frame tag. Okay, now in the next lecture we will work on submitting this form and save the updated value of user description or about attribute in the database. Meanwhile, try this lecture at your end and we will meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care and stay safe.